Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. Today is Thursday, July 1st, and it's already going to be 4th of July, people. You know, it's weird because, like, when I think of all these holidays I go by, like, you know, at the beginning of the year and towards the end of the previous year, you get Christmas, right? You mark that as the finale, best holiday, really, of the year. You got New Year's, which is kind of like a mixture between the previous year and then the new year, so it's like kind of like a twofer right there. Then you got Martin Luther King, and you know, like, January is about to be over. And you got like Valentine's Day, and then you have President's Day, Lincoln's birthday. Then you move on to March. You got St. Patrick's Day usually, and then maybe you might get another holiday in there. Like, for instance, you might get Easter in March, but you also probably would get it in April. And you move on to May, and you get like Memorial Day, Cinco de Mayo, all in May. Then you get to June, you have Juneteenth, and then you get to the July, then you get the 4th of July. So I feel like the holidays, for me, kind of like landmark, like where we are at in the year. It just sticks out more. You know, you're like, oh, it's already going to be this, it's already going to be that. And it's always like a shock always. It's like you always think about it like, oh, did you know that next week is already going to be the 4th of July? It's like, oh, no, really? I forgot about that. Or think about it, next month is already going to be August, and then you get September, which is going to be another holiday coming up, Labor Day. Then you got Halloween the following, and it's like it's going to start all over again. I've been doing this podcast for like this is going to be week 22, so it feels like it's all just meshing together. Like, it doesn't even feel like I've done 22 episodes of this podcast. It doesn't even feel like it. It feels like I'm like on week 5 or episode 5. It doesn't feel like I've been doing this for 22 weeks already of just sitting here and talking into a mic. It's wild. It's wild how, like, the time just passes, and like, you just, like, it's so routine that you just kind of get used to it, and it just keeps happening and happening. And everybody's like, oh, you know, they say life comes at you fast. It does. Time just flies. I mean, like, it's weird because, like, you never think that it could get here soon enough, like a date, or like a certain date, or a certain time period in the month, or like a certain holiday that you want to have, or your birthday. You're always like, oh, it's going to be forever. Like, it's 4 months. That's going to be such a long time. Then all of a sudden, it's already here. It's like those 4 months already just went past you like that. You know, it just went by you, and then that's it. It's already here. Living in the moment is very, very important. You got to be able to cherish, like, the moments and, like, the people that you're with during that time. Savor it all up, because it goes by so fast. I mean, I just love, like, the 4th of July for me and my friends and family. We just always get together, have a barbecue, have some food, launch some fireworks, have fun with it. But then you're like, the buildup is always nice, but the day goes by so fast. Like, it's always like a dread to get there. Same with other holidays, like Christmas too. Like, the dread and the buildup is always the longest part. But then when you get to the actual day of the holiday, it just goes by so fast. It's like it just went right by. I think it's just because, like, we're so focused on just waiting and waiting for that day that when it gets there, you're already so excited, and it's just going by so fast because you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to go see this person, that person, your mom, your dad, whatever you want to do. But it's just like, it always feels like you want to pack so much into the day that there's not enough time during the day to do all those things. So then you get that feeling of like, oh, I have not enough time. But before, you're like, oh, I got so much time before that day, whatever. It's going to be so much time before it. I can do, plan this, plan that, and I'll do it all, and it'll be fine. I get that a lot with, like, that holiday, and then the Christmas too. All the time. The buildup is, like, for me, is just better than the actual day. Like, the day, don't get me wrong, is fantastic. But the buildup for Christmas is always, it's just the best. I don't know what it is, but, like, you can watch all these Christmas movies, you can do all these holiday things and do all this and that, and it's just, when it hits Christmas, it's like, okay, well, it's over. I don't have to do anything like watch any more movies. I'm not going to make any more desserts or, eat all this food. I can just go back to normal life and not just worry about anything else. Yeah, just move on, keep on going. But with in the sense of ranking holidays, and for me, Thanksgiving is like the number one holiday. You get all these. It's where the food and the gathering is like the priority, but mainly the food. You don't have to have like a gigantic Christmas dinner. You don't have to. We do, but you don't really have to. Depending on like what you do for Christmas, you can go to visit a family member. You can go, do like some people go on vacation for Christmas. Some people can do this or that. Thanksgiving is kind of really centered on the food and all that. Which, if you don't know, I'm a big food guy, so like I prioritize that like hell. Like I just want to eat the food. Like let's get to the food. That's the main star of that holiday for me. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, yeah, being thankful for your family and all that, but it's like the food is like, oh, that's what we do. That's what we take all day to prepare, to make, is that food. It's kind of like that with the 4th of July with me too. I like the fireworks, I like the friends and all that, but I do love barbecuing. And barbecue food like burgers, hot dogs, some occasionally ribs, maybe some chicken. I haven't made that in a while, but like I just burgers and dogs for me is just it's enough. It's plentiful. It's traditional. It tastes good, and you can make plenty of it. You can just buy a big stack of ground beef or a big bag of hot dogs and just make them like that, and just like it's food for everybody. It's food for everybody, and that's why I like it, because the food also doesn't take very long to cook. Thanksgiving food takes a while to cook. You gotta prepare it and all that, and just like make everything is like so hearty and filling. Is like you gotta let it like cook for a while. Like mashed potatoes, stuffing, turkey, ham. Those all gotta be taking up space in your oven or your stove or whatever, and just like take time. Burgers and dogs take like maybe 5 minutes each, maybe 6 if you can cook them well enough, or you know how to cook them well. But like it's one of my favorite holidays, and I live in California, so I don't get to like have a lot of the big fireworks like you can do like in like Nevada or Texas or whatever. But I still think it's fun. I mean, like even though that they're overpriced as shit, and they just they're very expensive, and you can go to like the local or like a bunch of like these like fireworks stands around town or whatever, and just like buy like you'll spend like $100 and buy like 4 fireworks. That's if you didn't buy the actual variety pack though. But those like also like are not the greatest either. Like there's a lot of them, but like their quality and like the last stuff that they do is like just it's okay. But it's like it's not like you can like just like buy like a mortar or like a Roman candle or a bottle rocket or whatever. You gotta like those are illegal here, so you gotta like be careful with that and just not just blast one off whenever you want to. But I always kind of was afraid of that, because if you're naming a firework a mortar, I mean, to me, that just sounds like it's going to hurt somebody. So I've never really needed to like want to light one off, just for fun. I don't know. I don't have the need to do it, but it would be fun, I think, to do it just for one time and then just that be it. But I don't want to do it when it's illegal, because I'm afraid I'll get caught, and arrested and put in jail. Probably not going to happen, honestly, but like I just always got that fear like, oh shit, I'm breaking the law. I can't do this. I don't feel comfortable doing it. But I always thought that also the Roman candles, the ones that you just like kind of like hold in your hand and like let it pop off, was always just like frightening to me. Frightening, and just like I'm afraid of like what that's going to happen, and if that's going to like hurt myself or anybody else. Like what if that thing just blows up in my hand? And then that's it. My hand is burnt up. My day is ruined. I got to go to the ER or whatever. That would be such a bummer, and it would just be like, oh, yeah, that's why you shouldn't do this kind of stuff, because you can get hurt really, really bad. And not to bring down the mood on this show, but like it's still like, for me, I would have to be like wearing like a glove or something, or like a long sleeve shirt, because I'm just scared of getting burnt. Like I'm scared of like holding like a sparkler like in front of me, because I feel like the sparks are just gonna land on my feet or my hand or my arm or whatever and just like burn me, and like I'm not gonna be happy about that. But it's so fun, because you can get your friends to come over. They also pitch in to buy some. You can get like whether you have a lot of friends or a few, you can get like a lot or a few fireworks and just like have a good time, and also like have some beers and just kick back and like relax. I'm also glad that this year's is on a a Sunday and not like a weekday. Those were always the worst for me because like you can kind of have people over, but it's like they got to go to work the next day, or they can't even go to make it that day because they work on that day. Especially if like you work like a 9 to 5 job, that would be painful. But if you don't, like you say, like you can get like maybe a Sun or if it was during the week, you can probably get that day off if they would let you. But like if you work like a 9 to 5, you're like guaranteed like Saturday and Sunday this year are off, or you can get them off. So that'll be good. It just encourages more people to go to your party, and more people that you can have with your party, and have more people, and just have more fun. And I've always been like a big thing, like a big person, like whenever somebody isn't there at that party, that that is like one of the most fun people there, but they got to work. It's like, oh man, that brings down the entire mood of the party. Everybody's like, that guy should be here, man. But like, shit, man, he's got to go to work. Can't do it. We all have that though, right? We all have like somebody in our friend group that's like, he's the guy, or he's the man. Like, we want him here because he brings everybody else together. He's the one that kind of like is the glue of the group. It's just it's so much fun without him, and when he's not here, it's a big empty hole of just nothing. Like it's not like anybody else there isn't friends with each other, and that's not that at all. But that person who isn't there is just a big force in the group, and just like, talks to everybody, wants to interact with everybody, will have fun with anybody and do that. And it's just like, whenever that happened to like my friend group, it was like, it's just a big like, man, I just wish he was here. It's a big gap of nothingness. And you're like, damn it, man. It's not like it's not bad. It's still fun, but it's just like, could have been better. Could have been more fun. I was going to say funner, but that's not a word. But you always got to be prepared, though, too. Because you can potentially wreck your yard, house, whatever, with fireworks. Because I see it pretty much every day, every year on the news after 4th of July. People just aren't careful with their fireworks. They got to be careful. They got to have, like, a fire extinguisher ready, or a water hose ready, depending if it's like your house or your lawn or whatever. You just got to be prepared. I mean, I usually wet my yard before, right before we actually light the fireworks, just so like not going to catch on fire on the grass or whatever, and it's not going to be, or on the trees or something like that. I just always like to wet it and not let it get, not let it be too dry, so it's like going to go up in flames as soon as like an ember touches it. You also got to be have that hose ready, and just have like a bucket of water ready, just in case like something happens. Because I've seen like so many times, like on the news, just after that day, like so and so's house caught on fire because they were not safe with their fireworks. It's like, damn, dude. Like, just imagine that you throw a party to everybody to have fun, and then you end up burning your house down. It would just be tragic. And of course, nobody usually gets hurt, or if they do, that's terrible. But like, imagine like nobody gets hurt. You just burn your house down because you were unresponsible with your fireworks. I mean, it's terrible. You got to be careful with that. You got to make sure that everybody's being, somebody's got to be, even though it is a party and everybody's having fun, people are probably drinking. You got to make sure somebody's, sober enough at least to make sure that we're not going to, hurt anybody, or nothing's going to happen to your house. I remember like, back when I was a kid, we used to go to my uncle's house, and like he had a pool and everything, but it was nice because he lived in the country, so we didn't really have to, be too quiet, or there was no like noise issues or whatever. We could have like a lot of people there. We got a lot of food, and it was just a lot of fun because we were just chilling out for the day, swimming, doing our thing, and then like we would just do fireworks at night. And it was always like, where I live in California, and like the daylight savings time, it gets late, like dark pretty late. So like at maybe like around 9 o'clock is when it gets actually dark enough to do fireworks. Now, I don't have a problem with that, but it's just like, gotta wait a while for that to happen. But that also means that you can just chill out with your friends for a long time too. Eat, drink, just talk around, maybe play a game or whatever, and just like sit back and just chill out. I mean, that's just like one of the better things. Is like, I always feel like the 4th of July is more of like a friend's holiday than like a family holiday. In my opinion, I just feel like that because Christmas and Thanksgiving, they just got this more of a homey family type of gathering to me. 4th of July is just like friends and like maybe some family. I mean, that's how I see it nowadays. It's just like, I mean, do we really need everybody here? Like, especially when you get older too. I can see when you're like a kid, like when I was like just explaining, but like when you get older, like you get out of college, out of high school, whatever, you're just like, yeah, I love my family and all that. I do, I love them, but like there's just some wild shit that you can do with your friends on that day, and it'd be with fireworks and all that. It's just some wild crap that you can do, and it kind of lends itself more to your friends than your family when you get older. Unless you got like a family, you got kids or whatever, then I can see that. But like, obviously that. But if you're like a single guy or a girl and you're just hanging out and whatever, you want, like, you get some friends together and do that. It's just the best. It really is just the best. I was thinking I could talk about like the top things that I think that are super like, overpriced nowadays. Like just like the money is just like, the value of these things is just like, it's expensive at first, but it's like, is there really like a longevity thing with this? One of the main things I think I've, noticed that like, being a person who plays video games or whatever, who plays like, or uses like a computer or like, technology and all that, hard drives that you buy for a console or a computer or whatever, for me and my experience, have just always had this shoddy, very sketchy value. Like, and I mean like in the term of like using it as to store games, documents, whatever you want to use them for. But I remember I bought like a hard drive for my Xbox back in the day, like for like maybe, I don't know, maybe like $70. I think it was a 4 terabyte hard drive from Western Digital, and it was a pretty good rated one on Amazon. And I thought that, you know what, I need this because this is just where the future of gaming is going. Games are just going to get bigger and bigger, and I got to be able to store it because the consoles that you buy, that they sell, just come with like a terabyte hard drive, like one single terabyte hard drive. And it's like, okay, like obviously, like I remember back in the day when the game was like 7 gigabytes or 5 gigabytes. Like the biggest one I think that I owned back then was like Modern Warfare 2, which was like 7 gigabytes. And then like this newest one, Modern Warfare Warzone, is like 99 gigs. And I think Black Ops is like 130 gigabytes. It's just crazy how much they jump by. But the thing is that when you buy a hard drive, you expect that to last a while because it's not doing really much, really. I mean, you plug it in and it's just sitting there. It runs a bit. It's just, you can kind of feel it like something is happening in there. Like the gears are just shifting or whatever. There's a fan in there. I have no idea, but you can just kind of hear it like, or feel it kind of like slightly vibrate or just move. So I don't know what's in there, but it's just, you can feel it like tinkering and moving and working. So like when you expect it to last long because all it's just doing that, it's just sitting there and doing nothing really. But I remember one day like I was trying to play a game with my friends or whatever, and it just wasn't showing up on my library. I'm like, where did it go? Like, oh, my hard drive is probably disconnected or just not connected right. So I just unplugged it, plugged it back in, and then it wasn't working. And then I did it again to try to like, see, okay, well, what is this? What's happening here? And then what happened was I noticed that like it was the light on the hard drive was turning on for like a split second, then shutting right back off. I was like, okay, so this thing's got to be dead then. Like I got to get a new one. But it's just like, it didn't even last like a year and a half, I think, maybe even 2 years. Like it died so quick. And like there was no way I could fix it either. Like I couldn't like, I had every cord I tried that I had for a hard drive just wouldn't connect it. It just kept turning off. I'm like, I was thinking like, do I have to just like move the cord around and position it in a different way? I tried that many times, but it didn't work. And I was like, okay, I just got to spend like another like $70 on another hard drive then. This is pretty ridiculous. Like, I'm just thinking like, and the thing is like the plug-in cord that you use on a hard drive is just kind of really, really bad. Like you would kind of like, you can like actually like move it around when it's plugged in. It's like, this is not secure. This is not good quality. This is like kind of bad. Like I can actually like, disconnect it and probably ruin like my hard drive or whatever. Like probably like erase a game by accident or, whatever. And it's just like, this cost me $70 and it's not even going to last me like 2 years. Like what is actually happening? So I feel like a hard drive nowadays, like an actual external hard drive, is just one of the most overpriced things that you can possibly find, like on Amazon, Best Buy, whatever. And if you want to get like a good one, like a 4 terabyte one, like I got one on sale for like $70, but those will usually go up like price at like 100, 120, depending on the kind you get, it's like, oh my God, like talk about like a technology that is just so, for me at least, is like, at least the plugin is just so outdated. Just go to USB-C already. Like, come on, this is just annoying. Like it's so bad. Also, like micro USB, if you remember, like if you had like an Xbox One X or Xbox One and you had a controller and you plugged that controller into your Xbox, the cord end of that goes into your controller was a micro USB, a USB, sorry. And talk about like maybe the worst plug-in security of all time. I mean, the worst. You had to put it in a certain way, always the same time, but it would never really go in cleanly. It would always like kind of like get caught on the corners, or going at a slightly bad angle and just kind of like fuck up. It would always like feel like you just had to like really put it in straight. But it was like, what if you need that in a hurry? You just gotta like kind of like see and feel around there and just kind of like slide it in. But it just always had this unsecured feeling about it, like it was gonna disconnect, or it might get stuck in there, or like you put it in, but it feels like, oh, that kind of went in kind of hard. Maybe I fucked up my controller a bit, or that plug-in. It's like that always feels to me that it's just a bad connection, and it's always weird because a lot of freaking like things use that. Like I have like a Power Beats 3 that are wireless that charge with that thing. And the connection is just so bad. Like, it's just ridiculous how bad it is. Like, it's just, I know it's smaller and all that and everything, but it's like, come on, we got to get to USB-C. That is so much smoother and nicer and better secure. And it doesn't seem like it's going to break and like at all at any point. It's like, we need to get to that point where we just have a universal USB-C thing. Like, I'm tired of the lightning on the iPhones too. Like, it's good and all, and it's not like, it's a nice secure click in to charge it, but I feel like USB-C is just the future. Like, everything's got to be like that. It's got to be more just USB-C. Just start using that, everybody, because this micro USB thing is just so outdated and it's just so bad, and it's all overpriced in my opinion. For a shoddy connection, it's just like, come on, let's just get something that's better, please. Another thing is like TVs nowadays. Like, I've seen some that are pretty low priced and some that are pretty like well priced, but I've also seen some like just an actual like 4K TV costing like $1,000. Like, are you joking me? Like, I know that it wasn't on like a Prime Day or like a Black Friday type of deal, or maybe like a sale or whatever, but I was just seeing like these prices like on Amazon, and I was just like, bro, this is more expensive than I thought that they were. Like, they're so expensive nowadays, or from the ones that I've seen. I've heard people say like, bro, you can buy a 4K TV for like $200. I'm like, where? I don't see that at all. Where do I got to go to buy that? Amazon just sells like this overpriced TV every fucking day. Whenever I check, it's like, I got to get a new TV because mine actually broke. But it just keeps happening. It's like, what can I buy that is like got a good value and will last long and is priced well? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you got to like really shell out a lot of money just to like buy something that's decent that'll last you a while. Like, my brother told me like he went to Best Buy recently and he saw an HDMI cord that was over $100. An HDMI cord. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous. I know that it's supposed to be, used for 8K and high definition TVs and all that and monitors, but it's like, dude, like, that is $100 for a cord, like just a cord. Like, I don't understand. I don't care what kind of TV you got, what kind of monitor you got, but that to me is just not worth it. There's just some things that you just kind of look at it and you're like, like, maybe I can ask that for a gift or something like that for Christmas or whatever, but I'm not going to like actually buy that. There was no way I'm going to buy that right now. Like, breaking news, I just got my Series X a while ago, like last week. I'm happy about it. I got it delivered by Walmart and everything like that. But you got to buy like a little SSD memory card that'll add you another terabyte of memory for your Xbox. But it's weird because you can't use an like a external hard drive and use you can play them, but they won't be like running at the preferred speed of the next gen console. So you got to get this memory card that is capable of doing that you can actually plug it in as additive storage, and you can store them with that on that card and play them at like the top notch, like optimization, frame rate, whatever you want, 4K and all that, to really like put like the Xbox Series X's power on display fully. But that costs this little card, like a memory card. Like think about like a memory card like from the PS2 days, the GameCube days, like a really small card. It costs $220 for that one card. Like I mean that thing better like never break ever, because if it does, that's going to be another $220 that you got to spend, like another $220 just down the drain. I haven't bought one because I just won't spend the money on that. I just can't. I like make myself want to spend that much money on that thing. I mean, I just can't. You look at it and you're like, how could this be that much money? I mean, this Xbox was $500. That's just a little less than half of what that would, half of $250. It's just like $30 less for being $250. Like that price for that little card is just ridiculous. Now I know that it's like, I was hearing that like other people are going to start making them. Now a lot of people have been making those cards, and it's like, well, who's going to make them? And are they going to price them lower? Are they going to price them higher? Like what's going to happen here? I have no idea, but it's like, it's just a bunch of technology that just feels like it's so overpriced nowadays. Like I brought my brother like a Stream Deck. He's got it right here now. I remember like because my brother streams on Twitch and all that, video games and all that, and a Stream Deck would have made it much easier and much more cleaner and smoother with his broadcast. And I bought it. Like me and my mother pitched in to buy it. That thing costs like over $100, and it's not even that big. It's really small, and it's not like it's like I don't know. It's like the best quality of like it's plastic, but the functionality and like the accessibility to make your stream like so much better is like, again, it's very like changing if you're going to stream on Twitch or whatever. It's nice to have, but it's like, damn, that's a lot of money for that. That is a lot of money. Like it's just a ton of money. It's just expensive. I remember back in the day you could buy like an iPod Nano for like $100, I think, $150 maybe. Back when the iPhones were like very popular and like the iPod Touches were popular. I remember those back then. That was like, you wanted like a nice, touch screen to music player that could also access the internet, and you can play games on it, but you didn't want it to be a phone yet. You didn't want to pay for that cell phone bill. But now pretty much iPods and like MP3 players and all that music devices are pretty much all your phones now. It's weird how that happened. Like I remember, like I never thought that an iPod could ever be replaced just because it was so nice, and you had two devices, your phone and then your iPod. You didn't really need to combine them. And even me back in the day, I was like, why would you even want your music on your phone? Like your phone is for texting and calling. Why would you want to, text people while listening to music on your phone? And boy, was I wrong. Like, because that's all we do nowadays. Not just music. Now you got podcasts and YouTube videos and all that. You can do all of that on your phone. Everything that you thought you could just do on your iPod Touch, whatever, tablet. You can do all of that now on your phone. It's crazy to think about that. Like the phone has just transcended how we live our lives. Like remember back in the day, you had to go to the library or check out a book to learn something. Boom, no more. You can just Google that in your pocket. The device in your pocket, you just go to Google and look it up right then and there. It's crazy. Technology really has, in a way, made us smarter, but also made us very, very dumb. I'm sure you can look up something on the fly like that, but also it's like it takes away I feel like it takes away the motivation to learn things, or to want to learn things, or just the ability to, try to learn something new. Now that we have our phones and all that, you can just Google whatever you want, basically. It's also made us very, very independent and very, very quiet, I think. You notice nowadays, like when people are just like, they go to a coffee shop, whatever, and just stick to their phones and do nothing. Just stick on their phones and do absolutely nothing. Sometimes you just look at your phone just to avoid talking to somebody nowadays. It's crazy. And I do that too. I'm not saying I don't do that. I do that all the time. But it also kind of makes you wonder, what if we didn't have these phones? What if we didn't have these devices that just kind of seal us off from society, and just like we can live in our own little world in our phone like that, and like browse social media, YouTube, whatever you want to do, the internet, Google, whatever, at the tap of your thumbs. Like, I just wish like we could go back to a time where we didn't have that for a while, because I feel like those times, even though like you think now, like, could you go back? You probably say no. I want my iPhone. I want my YouTube, my Google, whatever. I think that if you were to do that, just to go back in time and experience a day just without your phone, not being connected, not being plugged in, nothing. It'd be nice. It would be relaxing. It'd be like it'd be refreshing. It'd be like a new start, a new life, I think. Because so much of what we do today, how we interact with people is through our phones and through the internet, that it would just be a brand new experience. It would be just like alien almost, like really, really alien. And I feel like I could do it, but I would want my phone back like very, very soon, because I check that thing for everything nowadays. Like, I never thought that I would, because I remember like my parents were like, okay, we're going to get you a phone, but you can't be on it all day. I'm like, okay, Mom, I promise I'm not going to be on it all day. I promise you that. That's already out the window. That's gone. That's like no longer a thing. There's no longer anybody like saying like, well, my mom says I can't be on my phone for that long, or my dad says this, or I can't be on my phone, they're going to take my phone. I mean, I know that I'm not like a kid anymore, so I kind of don't have those restrictions, but I would imagine nowadays with parents today, kids today, right? They're always, kids make TikTok go. If you think about it, they keep posting on TikTok. They're on TikTok all day, getting new ideas, dancing and all that. They got to be on TikTok all day to make that platform actually blossom and bloom and be a place of where you can actually find entertainment and just keep it going. So I'm just like thinking about that. Like, if there's so many kids on there, that means that there's got to be like no restriction by their parents, because like they're always on there, always on Instagram, Twitter, and all that, YouTube. Like, it's just crazy, and kids are getting into the internet even younger and younger as we go. Like, I remember like I've seen some kids like, just like at a store or whatever, just like on their mother's phone or their dad's phone, like, and just like playing a game, or like just like making like, I don't even know, like doing like the most basic stuff, but like they got their phone in their hands. First of all, that can't be good for their eyes, right? I mean, like, everybody's talking about like blue light glasses, how that'll make your eyes like so much better and not be like in danger of the blue light. But like, just imagine, like, you give like your 3-year-old like kid your phone or your tablet or whatever. You're just exposing them to the internet and that blue light all the time. And for one, like, it can't be good for their learning, and two, it can't be good for their eyes. I mean, it just can't be. I don't know. For me, I feel like it's just like, got to slow down with that. Maybe don't give them a phone yet. And don't give them the phone when they're like 6 years old or 5 years old, because that's all they're going to want to do now. There's these kids that live by my house. Like, they live like across the street, and they play outside all the time. They're super loud, and they can be annoying at times, but it's like, also, like, I'm like thinking like, oh, thank God that they're outside. They're not inside watching TV or on their computer or their Xbox or whatever. They're outside playing games and playing with their brother and sister, and just like having some fun outside. Like, that just kind of like reassures to me that it's possible to not succumb to like give the kid an iPad, give the kid a phone, And I understand that there's some times when you just got to do that. You're busy, got to get some stuff done. Your kid won't shut up. Your kid's got to go he's being loud, and I get it. I've been around kids, from my cousins, like, their kids and all that. When they're very young, they can be a handful. I understand that. I really do. But it's like, don't do it all the time. Just kind of like monitor it, and recreation, I guess, kind of like just ease them into it. Don't just let them like have the thing all the time. Don't like, I'm talking like I'm a parent. I'm not a parent. I'm just saying, like, I feel like it would be better for the society if like they're not on the internet at such a young age, because I feel like it just kind of like diminishes, again, our education, the ability to learn, wanting to like do other things outside, and just always being on your phone or whatever. That can kind of like just like translate to like either like just being on your phone all day, being on the computer, playing video games all day. It's just kind of like a thing that just kind of like proceeds into becoming like the ultimate couch potato. And I'm not saying that I'm not a couch potato. I am a couch potato, but I wish just that, you know, it would be change a little bit better for the younger generation. But I don't think it can, though. Like, we're already so, like, our technology is just advancing and advancing, like, every year, and it's just making it so much easier to access the internet on everything. It's like, I think we're kind of past that now. I really, really do. I think that it's just not possible to go back to those days that we used to have, where we didn't have the internet in our pocket at all times. Like, and then we didn't have Wi-Fi. I mean, whoever invented Wi-Fi should be praised forever, because back when there wasn't Wi-Fi and you had to actually use your cellular data, and that would cost you like a cent a minute or a cent a second. It would cost you like so many, like, you know, it'd be like minutes, like you wasting minutes away on your phone plan. It would be like that, but for the internet. And it would be like, oh, well, I accidentally was on the internet for this long, because I remember one time my internet bill went up super high, and I did not know why, what happened. But then I remembered, I was like, wait a minute, why'd they go high? Oh, I remember. Because one time I had a phone that didn't really, it didn't have like a flip. It wasn't a flip phone. It was just like a open faced phone. So like you could easily unlock it by clicking a button, and then the internet button was just like right in the center, right dead in the center. So if anything like touched it, I remember I was in band class, and I remember like I had it like in my pocket, and I put it in my my trumpet case. We were out there for like maybe like an hour and a half or whatever, and I remember that when I got back to my case, my trumpet case, I got my phone out, and I saw that it was just on like Yahoo, and I was like, oh my god, I'm fucked. My bill's gonna go up. I'm gonna be fucking dead. Like, cause I had no idea that happened. I guess like when I was like fumbling with it and I put it in my thing, I accidentally hit the internet button, and it just went on like that. And I was just like, oh my god, this is gonna be bad. Surely enough, my mom was like, what's up with the internet bill? I'm like, I fucking fucked up. I accidentally hit it, and I was like, I can't. Thank God for Wi-Fi. That's all I'll say. It's crazy, though. It's crazy. But again, like, without the cellular bills and all that like that, with Wi-Fi just available. And I know you can get, like, Wi-Fi, like, limitations, like gigabytes of downloading and all that. But it just feels like nowadays, it's just like, that's not even really even, like, a factor. Some people it could be, but, like, for me, for what I do, it's like that's not much of a factor at all. So I don't got to worry about that one bit. And every place you can go to, like, pretty much has free Wi-Fi, or to an extent, sort of like free Wi-Fi. Like, you go to Disneyland, you can get Wi-Fi. You can go to Universal Studios and get Wi-Fi. You can go to, like, the dentist and get free Wi-Fi. You can go to the doctor's office and get free Wi-Fi. It's crazy how available Wi-Fi is. It's just like almost like, you know, it's just, you know, it's so tempting nowadays. You got to be online all the time. I remember, like, even, like, when, like, a console would, like, come out, and I remember, like, my Wi-Fi wasn't terrible on my phone, but on my console, it was just absolutely atrocious, because for some reason, my Wi-Fi, whenever I would be connected to my Wi-Fi on my console, back when I had the Xbox One, I would have to be, you know, connected by a Ethernet just to have a good connection, because it just could not play like Call of Duty games like up to speed. I'd be lagging so badly, and I'm like, why the fuck am I lagging so bad? I got pretty good internet, right? I got Comcast, I got pretty good internet, but it's just being bad on my console. Like, you know, my phone is just rocket speed. I had no idea why that happened. I was just so mad at that. Like, it just didn't make any sense. Then I had to go wired connection, and that was always kind of like, kind of reverting back to the old days of Ethernet cords and all that. But you look at it now, and I feel like Ethernet is the better connection, the best connection, the most stable connection nowadays. So I feel like if you're going to play an online video game, if you're going to play, like, you know, anything like that, stream, whatever, you got to have a wired hard connection. You just got to be dialed in with a Ethernet just to be secured. You know, you don't want to be, like, blacking out at some point, or lagging out or crashing, whatever. You just want to be secured when you game, I think. But some devices like a Fire Stick, like Amazon Fire Stick, just they don't have that problem at all. They can stream high, you know, 4K movies, TV shows, or whatever, and just not even skip a beat. So that's like, wait a minute, my console can't do this, but my Fire Stick can. I don't really get that, and I don't understand why. This was like there's like limitations being put on devices at a certain point in their lifespan. A good example of that is the Xbox One X, and I feel like what's happening with now that the Xbox Series X and S are out. I'll break down the story for you. So what happened is me and my buddies, my buddies and my brother, a lot of us have the Xbox One X. The older versions, where it was the black version. It was like the more powerful, the more enhanced games. They played in the Super HD, Ultra HD quality, a lot sleek design. The newest one before the Series S and X came out, the best one, and it was playing good and everything. That I thought that I didn't really need to upgrade that at that time, that holiday 2020 period, because my One X was just doing very well and it was fine and everything. And then, a couple games came out for it, and I was just like, okay, well, it looks kind of the same. I guess I'll be fine with what I got here with the One X. But shortly after Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War came out, I noticed that it just got a little bit slower, and it got a little bit dumber, I feel like. Whatever updated the consoles when that game came out, I swear to you, put like a ticking time bomb on when that console would just die, when it would shut off and die. I think it did, because as soon as I downloaded that, as soon as I got that update, my console just was never the same. And just shortly after, maybe during, I think it was March or April, I think, one of my buddies' Xboxes just died. Just kind of died. It shut off, I believe. Went to the home screen, or to the loading screen of just it would just say Xbox One on the screen, it was booting up again, but it was there for ever, for a long time. Wouldn't load up, and it would just when it would load up, it would be super slow, lagging. The tiles wouldn't load and everything like that. Games wouldn't even launch. And I was wondering, I was curious. I even was bro, you're lying. This is bullshit, because he was becoming a really big PC guy. And I was okay, he's just gonna be a PC guy, whatever. But he's buying an Xbox Series X, so I can't really say that. I was just I couldn't believe what he was saying to me. What he was saying did not make any sense at all. And maybe it's just because looking at it through my lens, that's never happened to me and whatever. Just being oh, if it can't happen to me, why would it happen to you? It was very ignorance of me, and I understand that now. But I was thinking okay, well, if that's going to happen to him, it might happen to me too. Or my brother, or somebody else that has that same console. And then it happened to my brother. My brother was downloading an update, or he turned off his Xbox, and it was just, the light was just pulsing for a long time. And he was about to go to bed. He's like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just going to unplug the power, plug it back in, and go to bed. Because if you unplug the power, it'll stop, being in sleep mode and pulsing and whatever. And it was just, he was just tired. He was I'm going to go to bed. Whatever. The next morning, he wakes up and turns on his Xbox, fires it up and everything like that. It turns on, but it kind of does the same thing what my friends did. Is it kind of stuttered. It was a bit slow. Wouldn't load the games at all. It would load some, but not others. And I was did he catch what my friend had? Did he catch whatever my friend's Xbox had? Is that now on my brother's Xbox? I think it was. So, and I gotta believe that we were talking about this. We gotta believe that this had to be because whatever update that Black Ops Cold War had when we got it might have infected our Xboxes with a ticking time bomb to death. Because this has been happening it kind of happened to me one time. It wasn't as bad as theirs, but remember one time it shut off, booted back up, but it was really slow. And I remember even the menu and the dashboard was all kind of lagging whenever I would move my cursor. It would just lag a bunch, and I was just uh-oh, this can't be happening to me now. I better get on the search for an Xbox Series X. So I feel and now my other friend is having that same issue where it just doesn't load and all that. But his Xbox is the OG Xbox, the old black box, the very first one that came out. And I was oh my God, this is spreading. Whatever it is just it's not stopping. It just won't stop now. now. So it's like, okay, well, maybe Black Ops did something. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm conspiring or whatever. But it kind of feels like that's what happened to it. I have another friend that doesn't have the game but has an OG Xbox, but that never happens to her. Her Xbox is from what I know fine. It is older, so it doesn't play the games as sharp as it does. It kind of lags a bit, but it doesn't have. I don't believe that it has the same problems as what we had. So I'm just gonna say, don't download Black Ops. I don't know. I might be completely wrong about this, but I just feel like this might have occurred because of Black Ops Cold War. It really might have. So I don't know, man. But I feel like it's because they did that. If they did do that, they did it because they wanted to sell more consoles, more of the next gen consoles at that time. Maybe we'll just put in a little bug to terminate the old Xboxes so that they have to buy the new ones. I don't know. I couldn't see them doing that. I couldn't. But I also don't want to take it out of the possibilities that they could have. There's always something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's just a big conspiracy theory, but I don't know. I really don't know. It just seems odd that my brothers, and my friends were all the pretty much newer Xbox Ones pretty much did the same thing. Except for mine. Mine's still kind of okay, but it's not the best. But it just seemed weird. It really just, it wasn't adding up. Or no, actually, no, it was adding up. That could have been the reason for that happening. I wanted to talk about the who dropped the ball this week. Who dropped the ball? Now, if you were listening back in the day, back a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, I talked briefly about the existence of aliens and extraterrestrials and possibilities of UFOs being real and all that. And then where I still believe that they are. I believe that they are, but I don't think that they are. Meaning that I see things, videos and all that, and I think oh, that could definitely be, that could be something. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, that could also be bullshit. That could all be bullshit. Now, you hear stories of Navy pilots seeing things like that. It refers what you think about it a bit, and it also makes it more kind of feel more concrete. Why would these people lie about that? Why would they go to this big extent? Why would they be interviewed by 60 Minutes to do all this? Why would they do all that? It just doesn't make any sense. But still, even though you see the videos and all that, I think that's real, but it also could be bullshit. It really, 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 really could be bullshit. I got that in the back of my head. I think that all the time. And I'm just okay, I got to be careful on this because I do think that they could be real. But they could very well be fake and not real. So, June 25th passed. Now, if you didn't know this, June 25th was supposed to be the day that the U.S. government was going to release a bunch of information about the UFOs and declassify it all and just put it out to the world. This is what we know about these objects in the sky that people see, pilots, civilians, whatever you want to call them. They see these strange orbs, crafts flying away that we've never seen anything fly that we can fly like this. So I was curious and I read the report and I was kind of disappointed. Actually really, really disappointed. Basically, they just kind of reaffirmed that what we already know and shared a little bit of details. They think that they don't want to say they're aliens yet, but they're not ruling it out that it could be them. They think that it could be, but they say all their evidence shows that it's not aliens, but it very well could be. So it's kind of weird wording. Why would you say it like that? We don't think it's aliens, but we don't think that it couldn't be. It's okay, well, that is the most government way to say something like that. That is just so government-y of you. That is just so oh yeah, it could be this, but it also, or it can't be this, but that doesn't mean it can't be. It's okay, whatever, sure. But the thing that struck me was that they had 144, I believe, cases reported of pilots seeing these objects in the sky. And I believe 18 of them, or 18, I believe it was 18, I can't remember, but it might be 13 or 18, one of those numbers. A low percentage of the cases said that they were they flew right by one of the objects, or that it was a near miss of an aircraft. So that to me was kind of big news. Oh my God. So they're saying that either 18 or 13 of these cases probably saw with their actual eyes, up close and personal, what this was. So, like, it kind of leaves, like, a little bit of that, like, oh, it's pretty much what we already know, but this little part right here is a little bit juicier than what you already know. So it's like, oh my God. And I saw that, I was like, oh shit, there's something here. I mean, but we got to hear from those pilots. What do they see? But again, like, there's a declassified, which we already got, and then there's a classified, which the government obviously has. So it's like, God damn it, man. Like, why would you do this to me? Like, I was ready for this report. Is it bullshit or is it real? Just tell me what's happening. And at the end of the day, they gotta still keep it under wraps and not tell me what it is. I was just so mad. I was furious. I was like, man, bro, what the hell is happening? So I guess with all that said and done, we gotta keep funding. We gotta keep pushing the government to keep doing this, to keep investigating, to get out that information. But I honestly think that it's already gone and, wasted away. The curiosity after that report is probably diminished quite a bit. For me, it has, really. I mean, like, I was interested, I was ready, but I got that half-ass, shitty-ass report, and I was like, oh my God. Are you just trying to, like, let me not be interested? Do you not want me to be invested? Like, really? That is pathetic. Anyway, I was just really disappointed. I mean, like, the government dropped the ball. They did. They really did. But it was probably their plan all along, if you think about it. I mean, like, you got, like, on the cusp of something that could be, like, monumental news that aliens might exist, and you just kind of half-ass it and hide behind the bush and just say, this little thing that we already know, but here's a little bit of a tease. It's like, bro, stop teasing us. Just tell us what's happening out there. I mean, like, we deserve to know, I think. I think we do. I mean, it might blow the fuck out of our minds, but still, I want to know. I really want to know so bad. Oh my gosh, it could change everything. It really could. It has the potential. Not saying it will. It has the potential to change everything that we know in the universe. It's crazy. And then with this coming out, like, you get people that, like, who just want it to be fake. The people that just root for it to be fake. It's like, I wish this was fake. I don't want it to be real. It's like, why though? What makes you think that? Is it because people are curious of it? That their curiosity makes you cringe? I don't know what it is. What could it be? Like, do you just not like the curiosity? Do you not like how people just are just fascinated? Do you not like how people are just, like, talking about it? Like, what is it really that makes you hate it so much that when people talk about it, you roll your eyes at it? I really don't know what it is. I really don't. I think it's just because it's got a bad, like, stigma attached to it, that's like, oh, you can't talk about aliens because nobody thinks that they're real and those people are crazy. Is it that? It might be, very much, but I just feel like at this point in our lives, in 2021, we gotta just, like, put that all aside now, like, and just try to understand and try and force people to, like, try to, like, not force, but, like, try to, like, talk to people and say, like, well, why do you think that this is silly or stupid or bullshit? What makes you think that? Why would you think that? Why do you, like, just, like, whenever you hear somebody say that or, like, say, oh, I think aliens could be real, why do you dismiss that so fast and, like, just say, oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're insane. It's like, come on, bro. Like, it's not like back in the day when you had, like, eyewitnesses and not really much footage, and the pictures were all, like, pretty bad quality. They still kind of are, but, like, I mean, you got pilots saying that, bro, we are seeing things that we cannot understand that are way better than our fighter jets. I feel like just, like, with that sentence alone is, like, enough to be like, okay, well, there's something out there that we gotta find out. It might not be aliens, but it might be. We just gotta find out what it could be, and then we'll make the decision to, classify it as alien or not. It's just, but that's just all, like, scrutinized and criticized, and just, like, say, like, oh, you can't talk about that. That's insane. Why would you even want to talk about that? Just focus on what you know. Like, for instance, like, I enjoy Neil deGrasse Tyson on podcasts. I enjoy listening to what he says about the universe and black holes and dark matter and astrophysics and all that. I enjoy that. But he had some really, really amateur, childish takes and tweets that he put out on Twitter that were just absolutely childish. Like he wanted it. He wants everybody to be just be let down and everybody to rub it in everybody's face. Like you wouldn't think that somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson would have those childish moments, but he actually does. Like he wants alien people to like just if he probably could, he just like shut them all up and not say a word about it and not be curious and not want to know about it. And it's like, bro, like honestly, like one of his takes was like, why would an alien that could travel light years away in a spacecraft or whatever? Now I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like a tweet that kind of says something like this. But like, why would a species travel light years away to see humans who can't even, who don't even have that kind of type of technology? Like, why would they want to even do that? And it's just like, bro, are you speaking for the aliens? Are you saying like that you know that the aliens wouldn't find us interesting? Like, do you know that? You're claiming that it's like you're saying it like you know that they wouldn't find us interesting. Like, I just don't buy it, bro. I just don't buy it. You're just speaking so arrogantly, like you know, like what they think, even if there is a they. Like we don't even know if there's aliens. But the way you're coming off is like you're saying like you think that you know what they think about us. It's like, bro, that is absolutely the most arrogant thing that you can say. It's just really arrogant. Like you come off so unprofessional, and you actually really are professional, but you're coming off as very unprofessional. And I know it was a tweet that it was probably just was like a jab or a troll or whatever, but like I've heard him say the same exact thing on podcasts. It's like, why would anybody think that we're interesting? It's like, bro, are you kidding? Like you can't just say that. You don't know if like these people, these aliens or these beings think the exact same thing, the exact same way that we do. You just don't know that. So how could you make such a bold claim that we're not interesting? That is absolutely insane. That's insanity. That is just ridiculous. Like, it is so unprofessional and so unscientific to say that we're uninteresting when you don't even know what they think. You don't know at all what they think. You're just assuming that they would think that we were uninteresting. It is so bad. From Neil deGrasse Tyson, it's just unbelievable. It is absolutely unbelievable. And you would think that this guy would be like, oh yeah, let's keep studying them. Let's keep the curiosity up. Let's keep everybody talking about it. But no, he just wants to focus on black holes and dark matter, which is great. It's fine. It's cool. I enjoy that too. But it's like if you're seeing these things and these whatever this is, it's on your planet happening, right? It's happening on Earth. People, the fighter jet pilots are seeing this. It's right in our backyard. Why do you dismiss that? I don't understand that. It's got to be, they got to be paid off or something like that. They got to be paid off by somebody to not say this. It just it goes against their whole thing of being a scientist and having being curious about things and just having that curiosity bug. For me, whenever they say that, it just kind of feels like their curiosity dips and just pretty much to non-existent when it should be elevated and going up. I don't know. Like, I'm not a scientist. But I feel like it's just like some scientists will say certain things and others won't. Maybe it's being feared of like not being, respected or, worked with. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. It boggles me of how they wouldn't touch on one subject, but go balls deep in another. That could be, less crazy or crazier or equally crazy. I don't know. I have no idea. But it just seems like he's just trying so hard, and he's been trying very, very hard to be anti-UFO curiosity. Anti-UFO curious. Like anti. It's like, okay, bro. We get it, but we do get it. I mean, you are a person, Neil. You have the same exact way of like expressing your love and your dislike of certain things. You're a person. You do that all the time. We do that all the time. All the time. But I feel like with you, though, Neil, your platform, your degrees, your achievements, your museum, all your accomplishments, build you up this reputation where you kind of can't really rule out a possibility and be so anti one thing when you're still not sure of it. You don't have all the facts, information, and be so quick to dismiss something like that. So quick to just dismiss it. It's not possible. It can't be aliens. Why would they find us interesting in the first place? It's very, very much like me. Like something an idiot would say. Very, very, very much like me. So, just be careful, Neil. Just be careful. I like you still. I do like you. I listen to you on podcast, Jerry, whatever. But it's just, you kind of come off as kind of arrogant in this topic, this situation. And it's, it's people have, spoken their piece about it, saying like, how could this guy not even find any curiosity of it? Baffled by it, whether it be on social media or like Reddit or whatever. Like Reddit has obliterated Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like they are just so mad at this guy. Maybe that's why he does it, just to be a troll. Because look, I respect him, but he's always got that like snarky smile sometimes, and I do like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I do like him a lot, but he's always got that sideways smile, that fedora, the nice fedora that he wears. And it's just always, I kind of envision almost like a scientific troll, almost. Like a scientific theory troll. I don't know why, but I just kind of do. I don't know. But again, like, he can say whatever he wants. But it's like, bro, come on. Like, just have a little bit more professionalism in this scientific field that you claim that you love and you abide by, and you always think of the science and all that, and you always want to be super right. I get it. I understand that. But don't be so arrogant, please. Just don't. Especially on Twitter when you got millions of people seeing that, and everybody's going to rip you apart from it. But not everybody. A lot of people will just rip you apart for it. Twitter is not a good way to vent ideas and vent thoughts out. It's just not. Just don't do it there. When you tweet about that stuff and you tweet like, sarcasm and all that, it transfers through, but like, it's also why not just say it? Record yourself saying it and post it. Tweeting it is just so, I don't know, it just feels so arrogant and just, I don't know, it just doesn't sit well with me. I'm not saying that, again, I'm not saying, you could be right, Neil. You could be right. But, just the absolute assuming that aliens would never be interested in us is, I don't know. It doesn't vibe with me. Don't enjoy it. We're into the sports section now. We are into sports now, so everybody who doesn't like sports can tune out if you want, but if you like sports, I recommend you join me. Last night, Wednesday, June 30th, was the final day, the day long awaited, that Chris Paul, point guard of the Phoenix Suns, finally made it to the NBA Finals after 16 seasons, 5 different teams. The man who has been known and coined as the best pure point guard of this generation and the previous, maybe even one of the better point guards or the best point guards of all time. Pure point guard of that matter. Chris Paul makes it to the NBA Finals with the Phoenix Suns and Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, and from what I've seen is probably the best team left, to be honest with you. I mean, you never would have thought that the Phoenix Suns would be a good team. If you look at it on paper, at the beginning of the year, you probably think that they would be decent, right? A good coach in Monty Williams, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Payne. A lot of good players on that team. But like, when you look at that on paper, you're like, championship, yeah, NBA Finals. No, you don't think that at all. You think maybe midway through the pack, decent team, make the playoffs, and like hopefully that they'll make it far. People were saying like Chris Paul is just going there to retire. It's nice and sunny in Phoenix. It's nice and warm. Don't got to worry about the cold weather. Good living in Phoenix, a good city. And everybody was writing him off like this is like his retirement tour. Sorry, he went to OKC before that. And before that, he was in Houston, where it just fell apart. And before that, he was in the Clippers, where it really fell apart. Sorry if I sound like that. I'm trying to hold back a burp. But it was always, people were just writing him off his career. Like, why would he go to Phoenix? Why would he go to OKC? Like, is it going to work out? Like, everybody thought that Houston was his last and final chance to win a championship with Dwight Howard, with James Harden, Trevor Ariza, Mike D'Antoni as the coach. Everybody thought that was it. This was it. This was the last chance that he had to win a championship. And he never really got that far with the Rockets or the Thunder. So everybody was like thinking, like, what's going to happen to Chris Paul in OKC? What's going to happen to Chris Paul in Phoenix? Well, I'll tell you this. Chris Paul heard all that criticism, judgment, legacy status. He heard all that. And he's like, fuck you all. I'm going to take this team all the way to the finals. And he did. He's in it. He made it in 5 games. 6 games, sorry. The Phoenix Suns beat the Clippers 4-2 in LA, where he used to play for the Clippers for 6 years, by the way. Super emotional, super proud of him, super grateful that he made it there, because he's always a player that you want to see do well. Always. Even he can kind of be a dick sometimes and kind of be an asshole, but it's like he deserves it. He really does. Watching Chris Paul for many, many years, many, many teams, hearing about him, how he's like the best point guard, pure point guard in the league, it just makes me feel happy. It makes me feel good that he's finally going to get this chance to win a championship for the Suns. It's almost like, I just lost my train of thought. It's a really good thing. It happened. No doubt the Phoenix Suns are like the best team in the NBA right now. They're dominant. They seem together. They just play well together. They just everything that they do is just so good. Offense, defense, rebounding, applying pressure, passing, and all that. They just seem so well put together. And to be honest, like, did they get lucky without Kawhi on the Clippers? Yeah, maybe. But I feel like even with Kawhi and Paul George, I don't think that they could have beaten them. Just because that the Suns were so young and energetic, and they had Chris Paul as their leader, I don't know if they could have like beaten them, even with Kawhi and Paul George healthy. So they moved on. They're going to play whoever wins in the Hawks and the Bucks series, and it's not looking good because Trae Young is out, Giannis is out, and then injuries have taken over. But it's not like a injury that is like, because of wear and tear. No, Giannis's injury was a freak injury. Like, he just landed badly and just hyperextended that left knee, and that just like was like, oh my god, did he break anything, or did he like shatter something, or did he like tear anything? No, it was just a hyperextension. But it's like, oh my god, you still got to be careful with that. But it's not like a hamstring or like a soft tissue injury or whatever like that. It's just like a freak accident. So was Trae Young's. Trae Young's foot landed on the referee's foot, and that just gave him a big-ass bone bruise. So it's like, oh, wow, like those injuries are not like wear and tear per se, right? I mean, it's kind of like just a freak accident, like, oh, shit, like that's why. So I don't believe like you can say like, oh, it's because of the short rest. It's because like nobody, they didn't have a good offseason or whatever. No, not really. It's just kind of unlucky, which it's sad. It sucks because it's like taking the air out of the sails of these finals now, because last week I was like, everybody's playing well. Trae Young is good. Chris Paul's good. Giannis is good. Chris Middleton is good. Cameron Payne is good. Everybody was doing good. Paul George was amazing last week. And now it just kind of seems like, oh man, the Hawks and the Bucks series is just going to be a bunch of substitute players just trying to get there, because Giannis is out. Trae is out. Their big stars are out. So it's like, oh no. What's going to happen now? Who's going to win this now? It's tied 2-2 right now. I feel like the Bucks might win the series just because I feel like Atlanta is just so shorthanded, and they just got to get Trae Young back, and he's just like that heart and soul of that team. The Hawks is Trae Young is just so, he's awesome. He's so good. He's like the glue and the spark of that team, and he's just really, really good. But I feel like even whoever makes it out of this, the Eastern Conference is going to just lose to the Suns. I really do. I think that the Suns they're coached better, they're led better. They just got it going for them on all fronts. Like, they're just really, really good. And I just feel like that this is their year. This is Chris Paul's year. This is it. It's got to be. It's written in the stars, basically. Like, this is his time. And I feel like if any team was going to disrupt him, which I don't think that they will, but if I had to pick one of them, it might be the Bucks, because I know that the Bucks just have that, that never give up mentality. Like with the who they played the last, they played out with the Nets. They just had that never give up mentality to beat the Nets in game 7. But if Giannis is going to be out for a while, we'll see if he can come back healthy. If he can't, and if he gets re-injured, that might be a bad thing. But honestly, I don't think anybody can stop the Suns. I really, really don't. I feel like this is their year. This is Chris Paul's year. He feels like he knows it. From last night, he just felt so confident in his speech. He looked so happy, like, oh, we're going to go win this shit no matter what. We got the team to do it. And I really feel like they have the team to do it. They are really, really good. Like, you would think that the Clippers at some point would be able to contain them, but they never really could contain them for all that long. Like, they are so good, the Suns. They are so good. So it's just a matter of time for, like, how long are they going to take to win the championship, I think that they could do it in maybe 4. They could do it in 4, but also I could see them doing it in 5. I don't want to speak too soon about that, but I feel like if it's Atlanta, probably 5. No, probably 4 with Atlanta. If Giannis is back for the Bucks, maybe 6 or 5. Maybe, I don't know. But I just feel like I got a feeling that this is Phoenix's year. It's got to be it. It feels like it. You watch the games and you watch them play, and it's like, this is their time. This is it. So it's been great. The NBA is coming to a close in July. It's never done that before. It's going to be weird, but I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. And I just want to keep watching it and keep enjoying it. Hopefully that's going to be good. A good finish, a good last series. I'm excited. Also, what's exciting me is Euro 2020. If you haven't been watching, that's fine. The games are pretty early in the day. But England, I've been bashing England for a couple weeks now. Last episode, not the last one, the 2 ones before that. I bashed them quite a bit. I said, like, they have no chemistry. They look like they don't like each other. They have a lot of egos and talent on that team, but the egos get in the way of how they play together. They just beat Germany 2-0, though, a couple days ago, which was insane to me, because Germany has had their number for decades. Like, they eliminate them from everything that's a major tournament, international tournament. But again, Germany this year kind of struggled quite a bit. I mean, sure, they beat Portugal 4-2, which was Portugal's also out. So was France, by the way. The last remainder of that team, or there's no remaining team out of that group. They're all gone. Germany, France, Portugal, and Hungary are all gone. They're gone. And it was weird because I thought that Germany had it in them to beat England, because I just thought that England versus Germany, I know England's kind of like playing not that great. I know they kind of got out of their group, still in first place, but not the best performances. That Germany was like one of their biggest tests, like probably their biggest test that they'll face. And they just won 2-0. And they did it in a good fashion. Raheem Sterling scored. Harry Kane scored. It was a good performance. And they actually dominated the pitch, or the game, pretty well, I thought. Germany looked very, they looked like they were just struggling the entire game. They just weren't on page with each other. They were just like, they missed their opportunities, like clear-cut opportunities, just bad chances. And England still have not conceded a goal, so that's really good too. That just boosts morale for the goalkeeper and Pickford, the team, the defense. It's really nice to see that they're actually putting all these players on the pitch at the same time and getting wins. Like, that's all that matters, right? You just got to win the game. You can get criticized all you want about the lineups, the formation, the tactics, and all that, but if you just get the win, that all washes away. And I feel like that's what England's just got to do for the rest of this tournament. If they want to continue, they just got to put all that away and just play. Just play your game. Just do it. Just play to win. Play the 90 minutes and just get the win. You don't gotta worry about all the criticisms of like the media, me per se. You just gotta play to win. I feel like if they do that, they'll win it. I really do. They got a great, talented team. Now, if they get far enough, they could possibly play. I think if they make it this weekend, I gotta check. I'll check right now, actually, who they're gonna play, because I think if they make it out of this weekend, because this weekend is gonna be the quarterfinals, they got to play Ukraine, which I think that they'll win, and then if they'll either play the Czech Republic or they'll play Denmark. Now, Denmark has been playing very well since their first game with Christian Eriksen nearly passing. They've been playing well, a lot of heart, a lot of passion, a lot of goals scored. They've been surprising me with this tournament because I just never thought that they would do that, because they lost that first game to Finland, but they were emotionally, just drained, and they just like Christian Eriksen almost passed away that day. So it was like, oh my God. But then they've been showing out after that and just like winning their games and winning their group and moving on. I think that they will beat the Czech Republic, and then I think England will beat Ukraine, and they'll face each other in the semifinals. We move on to the other teams. Belgium is going to play Italy on Friday, and then Switzerland will play Spain. I think that Belgium will be Italy's biggest test, because everybody's talking about Italy being good but not the best, and not really for real. And they just beat Austria 2-1 to get to this quarterfinals, but it's Austria. It's not the best team really per se on paper, not ranked that high, but that doesn't really matter in the knockout stages, because you will lay everything out for your team on those games. So it's like those rankings kind of diminish, in my opinion. Even though that they're ranked not that high, and Italy is ranked as a better team, that all goes away for me. That all goes away. It's like in college basketball when the 16th seed plays like an 8 seed, and the 16th seed wins. All that ranking, all the things on paper, the game on paper just goes away, in my opinion. That all goes away in here. So yes, Belgium is very good, but Italy is also good too. They got a lot of good players that are being looked at by Premier League teams and other teams in Spain and Italy and all that. The Italian teams. There's just a lot of things going on with that. I think that Belgium will win because I think that they have more talent, but Italy is coached very well by Roberto Mancini, so it's going to be a battle. It's going to be crazy, but I think that Italy will win in the end. I just think that they're coached better. Belgium's got a lot of talent, but I think Italy is just, again, coached better, and they know each other so well. Switzerland versus Spain. First of all, we got to talk about the games previously. I mean, France and Switzerland was like an amazing game if you didn't watch it. France was up 3-1 by like the 65th minute or whatever. Switzerland scored first, but France just stormed it back, and everybody's like, okay, this is over. This is a wrap. France is going to win. Everybody's going to just go home like, oh yeah, France won. Yeah, for sure. But they came back in the end. There was just two amazing late goals, and one in the 80th minute, one in the 89th minute, or the 90th minute, whatever. But it was just so crazy. That's why I love watching soccer, is because that shit rarely happens in the NFL, the NBA, whatever. But in soccer, it feels like it could happen all the time. When a game matters, when it's do or die, that shit is always just possible. It could always happen at any moment, and it just happens like that. And it's so quick. And I was watching the game. I was like, oh my God, this is an amazing, amazing game. It ended in a 3-3 tie, then went to penalties, and then they were just shooting, making them one after the other. And then Switzerland was up, and France had 4. They had to score another one. Kylian Mbappe had a bad tournament, right? He could have made that a lot better, or not as bad if he made that penalty kick, but he missed it. And unfortunately, that was the one that to eliminate them from the tournament. But it was like, oh my God, after all this, all the criticism of Mbappe, of him not doing well in the tournament, it just got worse at that moment. It was like, oh man, you had a chance to silence the critics, silence the haters, but it just got blocked. And I was like, damn it, dude. It would have been so good to see Belgium play France, though, or France play Spain. That would have been really cool. But I feel like Switzerland in the end just deserved it. They played their hearts out. They played their asses off. Nobody took them seriously. Everybody's like, Switzerland, whatever. But France was like, we are up 3-1 and we're good and all that. We just got that big old Pogba goal. We're looking good and feeling good. But they let them come back in the game, and it was just like, it's game on. It's game on. And then just Switzerland just outlasted them in penalties, and it was just like, there it is. It's over. Switzerland moves on to play Spain. I feel like Spain will beat them because Spain woke up against Croatia, scoring 5-3. That was also a very, very good game. It also went to extra time, but they scored 2 goals in extra time to make it 5-3 to Spain. So I feel like Spain needed that game because they did get an own goal on themselves, but a really, really poor own goal. The keeper just missed the ball, kick it away, and it's just, oh shit, there it is, own goal. I feel like that game was a big wake-up call. Like, hey, you guys are good talent, like on paper, but you haven't, kind of like England, you haven't been showing it at all. That own goal kind of woke them up like, oh shit, we got to fucking play good here. We've been playing fucking terrible lately. We got to play good like we actually want to win this. And they woke up, scored 5 goals. I think that what's going to happen is in the semis is going to be Italy versus Spain, and then England versus Denmark. That's what I think that will happen after the weekend, but we'll see. And then they play on July 6th, July 7th, and then the final will be on July 11th. So we'll see what happens. It's been a great tournament, though. It's been a great tournament. Lots of up and downs, a lot of big matchups, a lot of big games, a lot of exciting games. I mean, Jesus, this past week was just unbelievable for international soccer with the Euros. It's been awesome to watch. And just, it's already going to be over, though. It's just sad. Like, again, blink of an eye, it's already going to be over. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. A lot of storylines, a lot of build-up, a lot of matchups that are just, like, historically, like, you got to watch. Like, France versus Germany is just, you got to watch that. I don't know what it is, but it's just, like, all the tension of that country, the countries, the rivalry, the alliances, the wars, and all that. I'm not saying that it boils down to the game, but it's just like those countries' history of one another into that one soccer match is just crazy to think about. It's just insane. A lot of weight to that game, but it's watching those teams clash again with England and Germany too. A lot of weight to that too, and being played at Wembley Stadium is just crazy. It's that's why I love the Euros, the World Cup, all that. I just love it so much. It's just so much fun to watch, and to see the passion of the players, the fans just belting their national anthems, just like it's their last hurrah. They're like a battle cry or whatever. It's really fun to watch, and it's already going to be over soon. It's already going to be over, and it's already going to be back to normal football, back to club football for a while. So it was nice while it lasted. It was up and down, a lot of fun. But it's all good things got to end somehow, some way. They just got to end. Just like this podcast. Again, end of the episode. By the way, end of the episode. You can find this podcast on all podcast feeds like Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. And I will see you guys next week.